When you wake up in the morning, the very first thing that comes out of your mouth and the first thought that enters your mind has the power to shape your entire day. Too often, people wake up groaning about how tired they are, how much they don't want to get out of bed, how they're dreading the responsibilities ahead. Before they even step out of bed, they've already filled their mind with negativity, and then they wonder why they feel drained, discouraged, and overwhelmed all day long. But there is a better way. Instead of waking up with complaints, wake up with gratitude. The moment you open your eyes, before you think about everything you need to do, take a moment to simply be thankful. Be thankful that you woke up at all because somebody else didn't. Be thankful for the breath in your lungs because not everybody has that today. Be thankful for the new opportunities ahead because every morning is a fresh start, a new beginning, another chance to grow, to love, to make a difference. When you choose to start your day with gratitude, you shift your perspective, and instead of focusing on what's wrong, you begin to see what's right. Gratitude is a powerful force. It has the ability to transform your attitude, your emotions, and even your physical health. Studies have shown that people who practice gratitude daily are happier, more positive, and even experience lower levels of stress and anxiety. But here's the thing, gratitude is not automatic. It's a choice. You have to train yourself to wake up and intentionally look for things to be grateful for. And don't just think it, speak it out loud when you declare, I'm thankful for today. I'm thankful for my life. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for the opportunities ahead. You are setting the tone for a day filled with peace and joy instead of stress and frustration. Gratitude doesn't mean you ignore the difficulties in life. It doesn't mean you pretend that everything is perfect. It simply means you choose to focus on the good, even when things aren't going the way you want them to. Maybe you're dealing with a difficult situation at work, struggling in a relationship, or facing a financial challenge. It's easy to let those problems consume your thoughts first thing in the morning. But what if, instead of waking up and immediately thinking about what's wrong, you started your day by acknowledging what's still right? What if, despite the challenges, you said, I may be facing struggles, but I'm still standing. I still have breath in my lungs. I still have people who love me. I still have a purpose for my life. That kind of mindset changes everything. One of the biggest barriers to gratitude is comparison. When you wake up and immediately start thinking about what other people have that you don't, it robs you of your joy. Maybe you look at social media and see people with bigger houses, better jobs, seemingly perfect families. And you start to feel like what you have isn't enough. But the truth is, you are incredibly blessed in ways you might not even realize. There is someone out there praying for what you take for granted. The job you complain about is someone else's dream. The home you wish was bigger is a place of safety and shelter that someone else is desperately longing for. The car you think is old is still a blessing because someone else is walking miles just to get where they need to go. Gratitude isn't about having everything, it's about appreciating what you already have. When you listen to the voice of gratitude, you will find that it drowns out the voice of negativity, fear, and anxiety. Instead of waking up thinking about everything that could go wrong, you start recognizing all the things that are already right. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the day ahead, you feel empowered to face it with faith and confidence. When you cultivate a grateful heart, you open yourself up to more joy, more peace, and more fulfillment. Listen to the truth, not your feelings. Feelings are real, but they are not always reliable. Too often, people let their emotions dictate their entire day, their decisions, and even their destiny. If they wake up feeling tired, they assume the whole day is going to be exhausting. If they feel unmotivated, they assume they won't accomplish anything. If they feel anxious, they assume something bad is going to happen. But the problem with living by feelings is that feelings change. They're unpredictable, unstable, and easily influenced by circumstances, thoughts, and even things as small as the weather or what someone said to you. When you wake up in the morning, your feelings will try to tell you all sorts of things. They will tell you that you're not good enough, that you're too weak to handle what's coming, that nothing in your life is going to change. They will tell you that you should be afraid, that you should give up, that you should stay in bed and not even try. But just because you feel something doesn't mean it's true. You might feel like a failure, but the truth is you are more than capable. You might feel like you're stuck, but the truth is every single day is another chance to grow, to learn, and to move forward. You might feel like nobody cares about you, but the truth is there are people in your life who love you and want to see you succeed. Emotions are like waves, they come and go. They rise up strong in one moment, and then they settle down the next. If you build your life on how you feel, you will be unstable, constantly shifting from one extreme to another. One day you'll feel like you can take on the world, and the next day you'll feel like you can't even get out of bed. That's why it's so important to root yourself in something stronger than emotions. You have to root yourself in truth. The truth is not based on how you feel in the moment. The truth is solid, steady, unchanging. It remains the same whether you're having a good day or a bad day, whether you feel strong or weak, whether you feel full of faith or full of fear. The truth is you are capable even when you feel weak. Strength is not the absence of struggle, it is the decision to keep moving forward despite how you feel. You don't have to feel motivated to do the right thing, you just have to decide to do it anyway. There are plenty of days when you won't feel like being disciplined, showing up for work, pushing through challenges, or believing in yourself. But that's when you have to remind yourself that feelings are temporary and truth is eternal. Your feelings will also try to make you react impulsively. If you let them control you, you'll say things you don't mean, make decisions you regret, and sabotage your own progress. How many times have you been in a situation where your emotions were running high and you reacted in a way that you later wish you hadn't? Maybe you were frustrated and snapped at someone you loved. Maybe you were overwhelmed and convinced yourself to quit something you should have kept going with. Maybe you were afraid and turned down an opportunity that could have changed your life. Feelings will push you in directions that are not always in your best interest. That's why you have to learn to take a step back and ask yourself, is this feeling telling me the truth, or is it just trying to control me? When you start listening to truth instead of feelings, you become unshakable. It doesn't mean you won't ever feel afraid, discouraged, or unmotivated, but it does mean you won't let those feelings make your decisions for you. You will start to live with wisdom instead of impulse, with stability instead of chaos, and with faith instead of fear. Listen to the power of your words. Words have incredible power. What you speak over your life, your circumstances, and your future shapes the reality you live in. Too many people go through life speaking negativity, doubt, and defeat without even realizing that their words are working against them. They wake up and say things like, I'm so tired, I don't think I can handle this, nothing ever goes right for me, or this is going to be a terrible day. What they don't understand is that their words are planting seeds. Every time you speak, you are planting something into your life, and whatever you plant is what you will eventually see grow. The words you speak first thing in the morning are especially powerful because they set the tone for your entire day. If you start your day speaking frustration, worry, and defeat, then you are already programming your mind to look for those things. But when you wake up and declare, I am blessed, I am strong, I am capable, good things are coming my way, you are setting yourself up for success. It's not just about positive thinking, it's about aligning your words with truth. Your words should reflect the life you want to live, not the fears you want to avoid. People often underestimate how much words influence their emotions. If you constantly say, I feel awful, I'm so overwhelmed, or I can't do this, then you are reinforcing those feelings and making them stronger. But if you start saying, I am at peace, I have everything I need to handle today, I am growing stronger, then your emotions will start to follow. Your words can either lift you up or pull you down, encourage you or discourage you, build your faith or feed your doubt. It's not just the words you speak about yourself that matter, it's also the words you speak about others. Some people go through life constantly criticizing, complaining, and tearing others down, and then they wonder why they feel so negative all the time. The truth is, when you speak negativity about others, it doesn't just affect them, it affects you. It creates a toxic atmosphere in your own mind and heart. But when you choose to speak life, to encourage, to uplift, and to bless others with your words, you will find that you also begin to feel more joy, peace, and fulfillment. Your words have the power to bring things into existence. If you keep saying, I'll never get ahead, always struggle, nothing ever changes for me, then you are reinforcing those limitations. But if you begin to declare, doors are opening for me, I am walking into new opportunities, my future is bright, then you are speaking life over your situation. Some people think this is just wishful thinking, but it's not. It's a principle that has been proven time and time again. What you speak consistently is what you will begin to see manifest in your life. It takes discipline to change the way you speak. If you've spent years speaking negatively about yourself, your circumstances, and your future, then it may feel unnatural at first to start speaking words of faith, confidence, and victory. But just like any habit, the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. You have to train yourself to catch those negative words before they come out of your mouth and replace them with words that align with truth. Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, I am more than capable. Instead of saying, this day is going to be awful, say, this day is full of new possibilities. Instead of saying, I'll always be stuck, say, I am moving forward and good things are coming my way. What you say matters. Your words are creating something, whether you realize it or not. If you want to change your life, start by changing your words. Speak life, speak faith, and speak truth, because what you declare over yourself today is shaping the reality you will live in tomorrow. Listen to the guidance of God every day. From the moment you wake up, you're faced with decisions, some small, some life-changing. The world is full of voices pulling you in different directions, telling you what you should do, how you should live, and what you should believe. If you aren't careful, you can spend your entire life listening to the wrong voices and end up confused, frustrated, and stuck in situations you were never meant to be in. That's why it's so important to listen to the guidance of God. His voice is the one voice that will never mislead you, never lead you, and never lead you into destruction. His guidance will always lead you to peace, wisdom, and purpose. God speaks in different ways. Sometimes he speaks through his word, giving you clear direction on how to live, how to handle difficulties, and how to stay on the right path. Other times he speaks through a quiet prompting in your heart, that inner knowing that something is either right or wrong. Sometimes he speaks through people, placing the right individuals in your life at the right time to encourage you, challenge you, or confirm something he has already put in your spirit. The problem is not that God isn't speaking. The problem is that many people aren't listening. They are too busy, too distracted, too caught up in their own plans to slow down and hear what God is saying. When you don't take the time to listen to God's guidance, you end up relying on your own wisdom, your own emotions, and your own limited understanding. The danger in that is that emotions can be misleading, human wisdom is flawed, and what looks right in the moment isn't always right in the long run. There are paths in life that seem good at first, but ultimately lead to regret, disappointment, and unnecessary struggle. But when you listen to God's guidance, he directs you in the way that leads to life, peace, and fulfillment. Even when he leads you in a direction that doesn't make sense to you at the time, his way is always best. One of the biggest mistakes people make is only seeking God's guidance when they are in trouble. They go their own way, make their own plans, do whatever feels right in the moment. And then when everything falls apart, they run to God and ask him to fix it. God is merciful and he is always there to help, but how much heartache could be avoided if people would seek his guidance before making decisions instead of after. Instead of treating God like an emergency exit, he should be the first one you consult. Before making a major decision, before stepping into a new relationship, before accepting an opportunity, before making a move, take the time to ask God, is this what you want for me? If you take the time to listen, he will make it clear. The key to hearing God's guidance is being still long enough to listen. In today's world, people are always in a hurry, rushing from one thing to the next, filling every quiet moment with noise, entertainment, and distractions. But God's voice is not going to compete for your attention. If you really want his guidance, you have to be intentional about creating space to hear him. That means setting aside time to pray, to read his word, and to sit in silence, allowing him to speak to your heart. Sometimes he won't answer right away, but that doesn't mean he's not guiding you. He may be teaching you patience, strengthening your faith, or preparing you for what's ahead. His timing is perfect, and he will always reveal what you need to know at the right time. Listening to God's guidance also requires trust. Sometimes he will lead you in a direction that doesn't make sense to you. He may ask you to walk away from something that looks good on the surface, but he sees what you don't see. He knows what's ahead, and if he is telling you to let go of something, it's because he has something better. Other times, he may lead you into something that feels uncomfortable or challenging, but he knows that it is necessary for your growth. Trusting his guidance means believing that even when you don't understand, he is leading you to something greater. People often ask how they can be sure they are hearing God's voice and not just their own thoughts. The answer is that God's guidance will always align with His Word. He will never lead you to do something that goes against His principles. If a thought, an opportunity, or a decision contradicts what He has already said in His Word, then it is not from Him. The more you spend time with Him, the more you will recognize His voice and be able to distinguish it from the noise of the world. When you truly start listening to the guidance of God, your life will change. You will stop chasing things that were never meant for you. You will avoid unnecessary pain and disappointment. You will walk with confidence, knowing that you are not just making random decisions, but you are being led by the one who created you and knows exactly where you are supposed to be. His voice brings peace, His direction brings clarity, and His path leads to a life of fulfillment and purpose. Listen to the purpose within you. There is something inside of you that is greater than any obstacle you will ever face. There is a purpose within you that was placed there long before you were born. It is not something you have to earn or qualify for. It is something that has been woven into your very being. But too often, people go through life feeling lost, unsure of why they are here or what they are meant to do. They listen to the opinions of others, the pressures of society, and the fears in their own minds. And they allow those voices to drown out the calling that has been inside them all along. Purpose is not something that shouts at you. It is something you have to listen for. It is that deep sense of knowing that there is something you were created to do, something you were meant to contribute to this world. But if you are constantly distracted by comparison, doubt, and fear, you will never hear it clearly. The world will try to tell you that purpose is found in status, success, and recognition, but true purpose is not about being impressive to others. It is about living in alignment with who you were created to be, using the gifts and abilities inside you to make a difference, whether big or small. Many people struggle with finding their purpose because they are waiting for something dramatic to happen. They think that one day everything will suddenly become clear and they will have all the answers. But purpose is not always revealed in a single moment. It unfolds as you walk in obedience, as you take steps forward, even when you don't have the full picture. Sometimes the purpose within you is already speaking, but you have been ignoring it because it doesn't look the way you expected. You may have thought your calling would be something grand, but purpose is often found in the small, faithful steps of everyday life. One of the greatest enemies of purpose is self-doubt. Too many people disqualify themselves from the very thing they were created to do. They think they are not talented enough, not smart enough, not experienced enough, or that they have made too many mistakes to be used for anything meaningful. But the truth is, purpose is not about being perfect, it is about being willing. There are people with all the talent in the world who never step into their calling because they let fear hold them back. And there are people who may not have all the skills yet, but because they choose to move forward in faith, they discover abilities they never even knew they had. If you want to fully step into the purpose within you, you have to stop looking for validation from other people. There will always be voices telling you that you are not good enough, that you should play it safe, that you should settle for less than what you know is inside you. But you cannot live your life based on what others think. You have to listen to that still, small voice within you that says, you were created for more. You have to be bold enough to take steps forward, even when others don't understand. You have to trust that if the purpose is in you, then you already have what it takes to fulfill it. Some people delay walking in their purpose because they think they need to have everything figured out first. They want a detailed plan, a guarantee that everything will work out, a promise that they won't fail. But purpose doesn't work that way. You discover your purpose as you take steps forward, as you step out in faith even when you don't have all the answers. There will be challenges, there will be moments of uncertainty, but every step you take brings you closer to the life you were meant to live. Listening to the purpose within you means paying attention to what stirs your heart, what excites you, what you can't stop thinking about. It means being honest with yourself about what truly fulfills you instead of just doing what is expected. It means refusing to let fear, doubt, or the opinions of others keep you from stepping into the life you were created for. Purpose is not something you have to go out and find. It is already inside you. The question is, are you listening? Listen to the promises, not the problems. Every day you have a choice. You can focus on the problems in front of you, or you can focus on the promises that have been spoken over your life. Problems will always be there. Challenges, difficulties, and unexpected setbacks are all part of life. But if you live with your eyes constantly fixed on your problems, they will consume you. You will find yourself overwhelmed, discouraged, and full of doubt. However, when you shift your focus to the promises instead of the problems, everything changes. Your situation may not change overnight, but your perspective will, and that will make all the difference. Problems scream for attention. They demand your energy, your emotions, and your peace of mind. The moment something goes wrong, it's easy to start meditating on it, running through all the worst-case scenarios in your head. You start thinking, what if things never get better? What if I can't handle this? What if everything falls apart? But worry never solves a problem. It only drains you of the strength you need to get through it. The more you dwell on the problem, the bigger it seems and the smaller you feel. Promises, on the other hand, bring hope. They remind you that no matter what you are facing, there is something greater ahead. Promises give you the courage to keep moving forward, even when you don't see a way. They remind you that you are not alone, that you are equipped, that you are strong enough to handle whatever comes your way. When you listen to the promises instead of the problems, you stop reacting in fear and start responding in faith. Many people spend their lives waiting for all their problems to disappear before they believe in the promises spoken over them. They think, once my situation improves, then I'll believe I have a future. Once things get easier, then I'll have faith. Once I see progress, then I'll trust that everything is working out for my good. But faith doesn't work that way. You have to believe in the promises even while the problems are still in front of you. You have to hold on to what you know to be true, even when everything around you seems to contradict it. Listening to the promises doesn't mean ignoring reality. It doesn't mean pretending the problems don't exist. It means refusing to let them control your thoughts, emotions. It means acknowledging the difficulties, but choosing to believe that they will not have the final say. It means facing obstacles with the confidence that you will overcome them. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are holding on to something stronger than your circumstances. If you look back on your life, you'll realize that you've already overcome so much. There were moments when you thought you wouldn't make it, but you did. There were challenges that felt impossible at the time, but you got through them. The same way you made it through before, you will make it through again. Problems don't define you, how you respond to them does. And when you choose to listen to the promises instead of the problems, you will rise above every challenge that comes your way. Your mind is like a garden. If you constantly plant seeds of doubt, fear, and negativity, those are the things that will grow. But if you plant seeds of faith, hope, and expectation, your life will start to reflect that. You have the power to choose what you focus on. You can either feed the fear or feed the faith. You can either give your attention to the struggle or give your attention to the promise that there is something greater on the other side. Listening to the promises means choosing to believe that even in the midst of difficulties, you are still moving forward. It means waking up every morning and declaring that today is full of new opportunities, that you are strong, that you are capable, that you are walking into a future filled with purpose. It means silencing the voice of doubt and fear and replacing it with words of faith and confidence. Problems will come and go, but the promises remain. The question is, which one are you listening to? When you choose to listen to the power of your words, the guidance of God, the purpose within you, the promises instead of the problems, you are setting yourself up for a life of faith, strength, and victory. The voices you give your attention to will shape your thoughts, your emotions, and ultimately your destiny. If you allow negativity, doubt, and fear to take center stage, they will limit you, hold you back, and keep you from walking in the fullness of what is meant for you. But when you shift your focus, when you listen to truth, to hope, to purpose, and to the unwavering promises that have been spoken over your life, everything changes. Challenges may still come, but they will not shake you. Uncertainty may arise, but it will not defeat you. You will stand firm, walk boldly, and live with the confidence that you are equipped, you are chosen, and you are walking in a greater plan. The power is in what you choose to listen to, so make the choice today to listen to life, to faith, and to the future that is waiting for you.